Good morning, all you gamers. Today we are on MCPvP and we're trying out some different duels. This is a fun little 1v1 where you can get different kits, all that kind of fun stuff. And I'm mainly just focused on doing the basic sword duels just to test out the combos and the W tapping. Just because I just started this past week, so this is my first attempt at really getting into it. The last time I did anything was probably 2018 or 2015. So it's been a couple years and I don't have to just rapidly hit anymore. So it all just kind of depends. We're going to get into it, have some fun, and we're just going to do 10 a clip, see how it goes. And we get into the first fight here. And like I said, I've only been doing this for about a week of learning how to do the strafing, W tapping, S tapping, and everything else. I still have quite a ways to go to learn, especially when it comes down to retracking and getting back into the fight, because as you can see, there's a couple times where I was hitting him good, comboing him, but a lot more than not, I should have backed away. But that's okay. We have fun, we learn a little bit, and that's all that matters when it comes down to it, is just learning from your mistakes and having some fun. I do know that one of the main things that you guys might be saying is you need to learn how to do a crit hit. Listen, I'm doing one at a time. I want to start with W tapping, just getting the initial knockback set. Then I'll worry about doing an SWS, and then I'll worry about the crits. As long as I'm not doing the panic hits swipes. That's all that matters. That is all that matters to me. I'm like, hey, you know what? If I can get this down, I'll be all right. Unfortunately, with the first fight, I did not get it down all the way. That's all right. It does happen.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, just wanted to say thank you so much for all the support lately. And while we get into it, I do want to let you guys know this is only about a week after learning how to PvP. The last time I did it was approximately 2015, and that was when all you had to do was spam click the most you can. You didn't have to worry about W tapping, you didn't have to worry about WS tapping, you didn't have to worry about jumping and hitting at the downfall to do a critical strike. All it realistically came down to was how fast you could, in fact, click. Now, with that being said, a lot of the times here, I'm just kind of. I know I got a lot of work to do. There are a couple decent strafes that I had, but there was also quite a few times where I needed to kind of adjust. When it comes down to it, there's sometimes I still need to work on my timing for everything, but it's 1 week, so I'm not too upset about it. This was just a week leading up until the Hunger Games that I had, and just trying to get myself comfortable with playing PvP, because for the last several years it was either just not playing or I was playing Skyblock. I was having fun, I wasn't doing too much PvP, so I didn't know too much about what was going on. And, it shows. There's a couple times where even in these fights that I kind of panicked a little bit, and like right now, I kind of panicked a little bit and I needed to learn how to adjust from that, or when times to back away after they've hit, wait for them to fake hit, or not fake hit, but wait for them to mess up their hit, so that I can just go in after that. And that's something I actually tried doing a little bit more so in the end, which is trying to bait out that first swing. But it's all a trial and error. It's a lot of fun. I do a lot of stuff on PvP Hub. I'm going to be doing this until I get the 10 and 0 I was talking about. Once I get that, then I might go into doing some hoplite and some other stuff. But if you are enjoying, please leave a like and subscribe. That'd really appreciated to me, just because it shows a lot of support And if you guys have any comments on how to do a little bit better, that works as well, because I definitely need some help in that aspect of things. I generally try to get a couple hours a day, maybe an hour a day, just to kind of play around and work on my timing. Currently, this past week or so, I've been working on the S-tapping move aspect of it so that I can get those crits. And I want to say in another week or so, once I get that down, I'm going to start working on doing the crits, the jump in and land as I'm landing, just because I know that beats out anything. If you can constantly jump and hit, that constantly destroys just about everything. But it's alright. Now, this is my first ranked person, and I actually had to look up what that LT4 stands for. I never knew you could even get ranked in it, so that was kind of entertaining and new to me. This is another area that I'm kind of like curious on what I could have done better, just because I did kind of lead too much into him. I did play into it a little bit too much, and that's probably why I died, like right here. But that's alright. There was another one. There was an HT5 or an HT4 later in the episode that I do fight, and so it was kind of fun. I had no idea anything about people being ranked. I didn't know you could be ranked, but it's alright. Hope you guys enjoy. If you do, remember to leave a like and comment down below. Subscribe, comment, let me know how I could do some stuff better, if I can do some changes. I did recently get a new keyboard and mouse, so I'm hoping that actually goes relatively good for me. I was just using a generic mouse and keyboard from Logitech. That was probably a lot of my issue, but we'll see what happens, because I have no idea. But I'll let you guys get back into the video, and I will talk to you guys in a little bit. So this fight was actually one of the fun ones that I had, and I actually didn't realize what the whole ranking stuff was, as I've stated earlier. And there was a lot of audio issues happening during this recording, so that is why, in fact, I'm doing a voiceover. But it's all right. I didn't know anything about the ranks, and so I looked into it, and I'm gonna do my first trial run, whatever you want to call it, to get that LT or HT rank, just because I want to start getting into PvPing more, and this is the first general step, is to learn how to PvP. With that being said, if you guys have any kind of stuff you can tell me that would benefit me, that'd be great. I was using like a generic mouse and keyboard, but now I have the Razer Viper Mini and some kind of Logitech keyboard that I got that is supposed to have a super low latency and all that kind of fun stuff, instead of just a generic one that I got from Goodwill. The Logitech G Pro X is what the keyboard is, and I've had a lot of fun messing with it. I've learned a lot. I was messing with all the settings and everything, so I'm trying. I'm like, we'll see what happens. I want to start messing up my keys and moving everything around to where it's set for PvP. It'd make it a lot easier to do everything, just because I know once you get into the higher levels of PvP, there's a lot more you have to worry about and do in reference to switching weapons, to different hotkeys, all that kind of stuff, and it is fun. But there's a lot of things to learn. Just like right now, I definitely shouldn't have chased the guy into the corner, and I did, but it's alright. I'm learning. It was only a week. Forgive me. But it's a lot different. I wish I still had clips from 10 years ago, but I deleted all of them a long time ago. And 10 years ago, all you had to do was worry about just spam clicking. But now you have to worry about doing this. Backing him into the corner and making him swing and miss so that you can get
get close enough and not worry about it. There's a lot that goes into it that I never personally knew, especially not today. Mainly because I used to just play Skyblock. Sky Wars wasn't ever good, and all sorts of stuff like that, but it was never 1.21 or 1.2, I think is actually when they changed the PvPing. But yeah, that's generally about it. You know, going into a whole new way of having to do everything is different. It's a little confusing, but it does happen. You got to learn and adapt as you go. It sucks. Whatever. Um, I do have a lot of fun doing it. It was very fun. This one is actually an interesting match because of what happens at the end of this one. I do know that I have to stop doing the little, what do they call it? The little slash hit. That's the weakest one. That's when you panic a little bit. I was trying not to, like the little slash. I was trying not to, and it's something you just kind of have to learn over time. But like I said, I hope you guys enjoy. If you guys got any kind of stuff to talk about or let me know on how I can do a little bit better, feel free to comment it in the comment section down below. I'll see you in a second.
I have generally learned quite a bit of PvP and strats and all that kind of fun stuff just from watching some different videos on YouTube that I could use, and they helped a lot. Like I've figured out that you gotta time the hits attack, otherwise you get that little black cut across the screen like that one, and you really don't want to do any of that kind of stuff with it, and that's understandable. And I was like, all right, cool. Hey, now I know. Um, I also figured out that you always kind of want to bait their first attack, let them swing so they miss, and that's when you can go in, because while they're on cooldown, you can go in just like that and get a couple extra hits, and they will have to run away. Now, there are times where I thought about chasing them, but I've learned that letting them reset a little bit oftentimes leads better, especially when you don't know what you're doing. Which I, in fact, do not. I do not know what I'm doing, so that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to chase anybody down so much, because it did bite me a little bit with the LT4, just because I don't know. More so, I'm used to just kind of running in and just attacking and just being full on aggressive, and it doesn't always work out that way, which is something that I'm learning. I'm trying. I'm working on the W tap, obviously, as you can see, getting those hits in, but also of how to counter it. I'm trying to learn how to counter it, which is backing away, running away, having some fun, but everything varies. It is a lot different of a time how to do everything from the last 10 years of just spam clicking. Hypixels, their stuff, they're generally have the same way of just running down, clicking as much as you can. But I think they changed it in 1.21, where you do have, or 1.2, you do have all of these changes where you have to make sure you hit at 80% of your strike bars full. You can hit while jumping and on your way down to do a crit, or you have the basic hits, which are where the little sweeping hits, which are the weakest, and you want to avoid those at all cost. And a lot of it just comes down to a lot of stuff. As well as, what you're ping at, because if you're like this, where he's just lagging around and spinning around, I was just like, yeah, you know what, I'm done. I didn't want to fight him anymore. But it happens. I did go into the second fight, and I was like, hey, you know what, we'll try it. But he's swinging everywhere but at me, and I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm just done. I just give up. I'm gonna blame the lag, because we always do. Everybody does it. You know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Blaming the lag. So yeah, no, it was fun though. This guy, I had no idea what he was doing, but this is actually the HT5 that I was talking about earlier, and it was a very good fight. Probably one of the hardest ones that I had, just because he was critting me out like that, as you can see. So that's what I mean by learning how to strafe and at W tapping doesn't do anything if somebody knows how to crit. And as you can see, I did almost have him. I did panic a little bit at the end, which I could have most definitely have gotten him into a strafe. But it does happen, so I just said, okay. We regained a little bit, got into the next fight, and I'm still trying to learn how some people, first of all, have that amount of reach. But secondly, I'm still trying to learn how to kind of regain after it and make some good moves to counter the crits. The crits are the pain. He was running away. I didn't want to give into it because I felt as though that's exactly what he wanted. So I basically just kept him in my crosshairs up until he came and attacked. This is the last round of him, which was a little bit, again, he was critting me out, and he got a crazy combo that I don't think I get out of it. See, yeah. There was a lot of comboing, and it was a good fight. I was happy with it. And so now that I actually know about the like PvP ranking stuff, whatnot, I'm actually going to be looking at getting into that in the next couple weeks.
With that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the video, and we're going to do a couple more. It all just kind of depends on what I got. I did come out about 5 and 5, which is okay because I did fight, 2 people that were kind of ranked, which is no big deal. But I do hope you guys enjoy, and if you do, remember to hit that like, hit that subscribe, comment down below how I can do better, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.